This is the story of Star Wars. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear R2-D2 beep, like this. Let's begin now.
You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to spin round the rim. This is Desert Planet Discs. Star Wars music in a single file. Here are your hosts, Carl Bayless and Level Up Leroy.
Following live broadcast is recommended by the Imperial Council in the belief that your commitment to remain upstanding citizens will be reinforced. It is required viewing for all members of the Imperial forces.
Time now for
Desert Planet Discs,
brought to viewers everywhere in the hope that our own lives may be uplifted by the comparison and enriched with the gratitude of relief. This transmission is unrehearsed and unedited, and is hereby begun without further comment as to its lack of moral value.
The virgin blanket of the storm. The curse
Hello, and welcome to Desert Planet Discs, track 36. And although we're probably only just about in February, or maybe even in March by the time you're hearing this, it's our first episode of 2025. Yes, unfortunately, both Leroy and myself have been struck down with various bouts of indescribable lurgies that have rendered being able to actually speak and record things somewhat problematic. So here we are. So this episode is entitled "New Year, New Sounds." So it's still relatively early enough in the new year to say it's a New Year episode. And,
I think
yes,
so.
Happy New Year, Leroy.
Happy New Year, Carl. I'm still suffering. I've got like an earache thing going on, so I've only got one ear. So New Year, one half of a new sound for me because the other ear is blocked. But we'll muddle through nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to remember when you're DJing that when they do that thing and you put one headphone on just to make sure it's the right ear you put it on.
Yeah, I did DJ over the weekend and had to kind of block one ear up and do all that. It was not fun.
Not fun. But yes, so New Year, new sounds. So the first of our new sounds was our first track this evening, which is called Quasimodo Parts 1 and 2 by the band BROK. Now, if you were listening closely, you won't have noticed any Star Wars references. But
Not one.
No. But the link to Star Wars is through the band members. So the band name, BROK, is the first part of the guitarist and vocalist Nick Brokenshire's name, who will be familiar to many of you as a Star Wars comic artist for IDW, and also part of our good chums and pals, Blues Harvest. And this is an offshoot from that band, but he's brought along guitarist Adam and Jess on bass as well. And joining them is a new name, but a new name to me. Certainly, I believe he's an old friend of theirs, the drummer Rick Gallagher. So that song is the first thing they've released under this new band name. And it is original music rather than, the Star Wars type stuff that they do under the Blues Harvest banner. But from that single alone, it's definitely worth checking out. And if you head over to Facebook, you can find them under BROK, BROK, and give them a follow and a like. And I'm sure once they start playing shows out and about, they'd be only too happy to see you. And as I say, follow them on the streaming sites as well. That song is available now on all the good streaming sites. And look forward to hearing more from them because that's a really, really good debut single.
Yeah, it's a great start from them, and it's always good to help support your pals as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though it might be a tenuous link with Blues Harvest and things like that, they're all good guys. So definitely go support them and hopefully go see them live. But let's get streaming. For sure.
Yeah, and on the Blues Harvest link, the Blues Harvest drummer, Andy Lith, has also been out and about with Curtis Eller's Rock and Roll Circus.
Yes.
They put a new album out, I think that was towards the end of last year, and he's been over, they did a UK tour last year, and he's been over to the US, and they've done a run of dates in America as well, so...
I've been following his adventures. They've been having an absolute blast.
Yes, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing what you catch up on when you're ill, and all you can do is scroll through Facebook.
Yeah.
But yes, so check them out as well. Curtis Eller's Rock and Roll Circus, and again on all the good streaming sites. And check them out. Give them a follow.
Definitely.
Like, subscribe, all that, because as I say, as we've just said about BROK as well, it's nice to support these other offshoots from the Star Wars related stuff. And you never know, you might discover new music, and
that's never a bad thing, is it?
That's never a bad thing. That's never a bad thing. So yes, obviously, since our last episode, which was way back, when we were getting all excited about a new show that was on the horizon called Skeleton Crew.
Oh, have we got predictions for Skeleton Crew that we could get horribly wrong?
Yeah. Well, that's actually the benefit of doing a roundup. Rather than Acolyte, where we're like, oh, yeah, I quite like that Jekyll on character. Next episode.
Gone.
Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. But even before the episode airs, it was just...
Yeah, so, we're going to have a bit of a recap, chat over a few things from the back end of last year, but then also looking ahead to what we've got coming up in 2025, and we've got lots of new music discoveries that we've made over the last few months as well to soundtrack your Star Wars year.
Nice. Woohoo!
Yes. Yeah, so as you briefly mentioned, you've had a few little adventures in the intervening months and DJing here, there and everywhere, including Disney over Christmas.
Yes,
yeah.
For New Year's, I was back in Disney in Disney Springs this time, which was really lovely. So I was placed outside of the Planet Hollywood in the Coca-Cola shop at Disney Springs, and we had a massive party there. Of course, I played some Star Wars and some Disney bits, just some good old pop dance remixes and electro house stuff. So everyone was having a good time, and I was working with a band as well. So it was brilliant. Always nice to pop in and go Galaxy's Edge and have a bottle of a thermal detonator of Coke.
A thermal detonator of Coke.
Refreshingly expensive, but worth every penny when you're drinking out of a thermal detonator. So
indeed.
Yeah, back onto Rise of the Resistance, and a couple of goes round on the Falcon, which was always a joy, and got to do one of the new Star Tours ones as well with
cool.
So that was really fun. Yeah, so great trip, and thankfully it was just a period where I feel like I had a 2-week period where I wasn't unwell, and thankfully that was Christmas and New Year's. My partner, not so much. She was really poorly, but I was okay for it. So. But other than that,
we went to Disney for my daughter's 18th, which would have been a couple of years ago now, which is December. Did they do the fake snow thing in Disney Springs?
I think I saw some snow in areas. Wasn't where I was playing.
We were there. It was one evening we were there, and we sort of been around the shops, and then as you walk, so you go down that sort of main bit of Disney Springs, and you've got like the Galactic Traders and the World of Toys and World of Disney and all that sort of thing, and the big Lego shop. And then you've got that sort of, it loops round, and there's like a secondary thing with all like there's a Uniqlo and all the Vera Bradley handbags and stuff.
That's right.
And as we walk down there, I don't know if it like hit 8 o'clock or something like that at night, or 9 o'clock. And they got basically a foam machine.
Oh, lovely.
because it was like 14, 15 degrees, so it wasn't cold, but because it was Christmas, or nearing Christmas, they just got this foam snow coming down.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, we're there going, oh, isn't this cool? And like, there's all these Americans go, what's this? What's this?
What's this stuff?
What's snow?
Yeah. So, I was lovely and warm. Not a sign of snow, fake or real. I was in my Roosevelt's Darth Maul shirt.
Which was classic.
Which was good. I thought, it's a little bit out there, some black and reds, almost zebra print kind of looking. So a bit fancy for New Year's, and just lovely and warm. And then I was seeing all my friends DJing back home here in the UK, and they were cold, so that was a great gig. And then just a couple of weeks ago, I opened up a second bar called Comics. It's their second one, Comic Sans in Belgium.
Ooh.
So again, I managed to do this with just one ear working, which was, I don't know how I did it, but it's a full-on geek bar experience, and it's the second site that they've opened now, and it's in Brussels. The first one's in Ghent, but you go in, they've got pinball machines, and then all basically geek superhero memorabilia up on the walls, Star Wars memorabilia. And even in there, they've got one of the Roger droids. He's in the corner. It's up there. There's signs just, to get to the toilet. This is the way. All of that kind of stuff. So, brilliant geek bar. So anyone that's traveling around in Europe, please make sure you get yourself over to Comic Sans. I mean, it's the worst font in the world. I would say one of the greatest bars in the world. So
there we go.
So do make sure you go and check them out. They're awesome guys, and like I say, absolutely love this stuff. So it's all from the heart, if you know what I mean. And fantastic beers as well, by the way, the Belgian beers.
Oh,
not going to knock them. They certainly helped with the ear infection.
What ear infection?
Yeah.
By the end of that, you were putting the headphone on the wrong ear.
Yeah, probably.
I always remember being over in Belgium from work, and we went in one bar, and they were like, "Oh right, okay, yeah." And it's like they serve the beer in like a yard of ale sort of thing, and you have to leave your shoe as a deposit. Because like people run off with these yards of ale, and it's like no, they're really expensive. You can have the beer and like try and do the drinking of it challenge, but you have to give us your shoe. And they've just got like behind. It's almost like going to a bowling alley. You've got like this little rack at the back of the bar with just like one shoe in it, and it's like all these people that have taken on this drink challenge.
What happens if they want to go to the more so for men, because we all know what the bathrooms in these bars are like for blokes after a couple of drinks. The aim is not as great as it usually is. Do you have to hop in, or can you get your shoe back for the journey?
I think the idea is that you sort of do the drink challenge, because like the yard of ale, it's I can't remember how much beer it actually is in a yard of ale. It's because you've got like the bulb at the end, which obviously like hits you. It's like starts off quite slow, and then once the air gets through, it's like avalanche. And it's.
If only there was a way we could find out.
How much liquid in a yard of ale?
2.4 pints.
2.4 pints. There you go. So basically, you're trying to neck 2.5 pints in one go, and then I think it's kind of like, because it's Belgian beer as well. It's not like you go, okay, we'll have another round of those, please. It's like, okay, go and sit down for a bit now and have a chill. And you can have your shoe back.
I mean, I found that out the hard way about Belgian beers, and my friend that I took with me this time round, he also found out about them. But the beer is so kind of, I don't know, clean or good or however it's made. The hangover the next day, although quite rough, isn't as headachy and things as when you're drinking the chemical-y stuff that we have over here. So that's the saving grace, I guess.
There we go.
But check out Comic Sans if you're in Belgium, guys.
Indeed. And yes, also on your recent exploits, your other employers.
Yeah.
You had like two worlds colliding.
We had another birthday party. So last year we did celebrated 20 years of In Demand Toys. That went so well. We did another one, and 21 years and 20% off for anyone that came down to the store. And we had loads of Black Series figures in that we got as well. So people were picking up some great, Balin skulls and some pretty good figures for like £12. Yeah.
Wow.
A couple of R2s, some Ahsokas, clones. Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
So there's plenty of stuff going on. Obviously, yours truly was DJing and hosting. So that was a good fun day with the guys from Norwich Star Wars Club. They all came down, got suited up, and were walking around too. So really good times. Really good times. It was a great day. I think I saw a couple of Star Wars hot toys get sold as well. I was very, very jealous. Some troopers went out the door with those. I was like, oh, cool. That's an expensive hobby. I'd like to get into the hot toys hobby. Don't know if my wallet will allow.
Yes. Yeah.
Or space. They're big.
Yeah. It's one of those you kind of go, oh, those are really nice. And then you go, oh, but that's like 4 Roosevelt shirts.
Yeah. And where do you stand them all? I mean, I've got a little shelf behind me of my Black Series guys and that I enjoy popping them all up and posing them from time to time. But, I could probably get 2 or 3 on there. That would be it.
Yeah. Talking of Black Series and in-demand toys.
Yes.
As we record, and hopefully there will still be some left for those of you when you're listening to this, there's another sale on at the moment.
There is. Yeah, we've got...
With some warehouse finds as well.
Yes, we're pulling out some amazing finds as well, actually. So there probably won't be too much of this stuff left because my wallet's going to get opened up for this one, definitely. But I know we've got the Vintage Collection Mandu and Grogu Deluxe set. There's archive layers there. We've got the Dr. Aphra's, the comic publishing version.
That's a great figure.
It's a lovely figure, I preferred that over the general Black Series one that they released.
The comic package is really nice, albeit it was from the era where they weren't doing any plastic bubbles. So if you want to see the figure and check there is one in there,
not just a couple of Lego bricks,
or a rose Tico in a bit of tissue paper. How are we going to get rid of all these Rose Tico figures? Oh, we'll stick them in a box that nobody's going to open.
Yeah, all the collectors will keep them sealed, so we're good.
But no, the comic package is really nice, and the sculpt on that figure is brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good.
I opened mine.
Do you know what? I used to keep them in boxes and stuff, but more recently, I feel like I like to have them out. I like to have them posed. Yeah, get the joy out of the figures.
That's it.
There was this is one I'm definitely getting. It's the New Republic Security Droid, HK-87. We've got the Probe Droid there as well. Getting one of those.
Yeah, the Probe Droid's awesome figure.
The Ned 8, Black Series, Luke and Yoda in training from Empire.
Yeah.
I said Imperial Probe Droid, and the Last Command box set, which is from the Dark Horse Comics era.
Yes.
Again, really nice box set. You've got Luke in there. You've got I can't remember his name now, but it's the clone of Luke that was in those stories as well. But
isn't it Luke? It's two. Well, it's Luke with 2 U's, if I remember rightly.
I think so, something like that, isn't it?
Or is that the? No, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. You'll all be screaming at your
it's Luke
podcast devices.
It's Luke. So that's a great 4-pack as well, and they all on some pretty good prices. So
I say I got
always worth checking out.
Yeah, I got like the email alert through yesterday or today even, and I checking it out, and there are some real bargains to be had. Yeah, I think certainly the Dr. Aphra, I think £12.
I think she was, like that.
12 quid for a Black Series figure is ultra bargain. And I say that one, I mean, they're all brilliant sculpts these days, but that's a really good figure.
Yeah, it is.
So,
really nice.
so head on over and see if there's anything left.
Yeah, after I've got
after Leroy and I have been through it and raided it all.
Absolutely.
So lots and lots and lots of adventures, and
Yeah.
obviously, with being ill, I don't know about you, but I certainly spent a lot of time in bed watching Disney Plus.
Yes, I did.
So, so it gave me a brilliant opportunity, having watched and enjoyed Skeleton Crew.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, great.
It gave me an opportunity to rewatch Skeleton Crew, which was very, very good. If any of our listeners haven't heard the podcast day special that we put out, which was me talking about Skeleton Crew, because Leroy was so ill.
I had no voice.
He couldn't actually speak. So, and we were obviously keen to support Star Wars Podcast Day, as many of the shows at Fantha were. So, you got some exclusive bits of music, including versions of the trailer theme song. More of trailer theme songs a bit later. But, the Major Tom Coming Home, which was used in the Skeleton Crew trailer, turns out was the original of that is like an 80s German guy. Was it
German guy? Yeah,
Peter Schilling. I seem to remember the name. And so had a bit of a chat about that. But obviously, we haven't spoken about Skeleton Crew to any great degree. So, what did you make of it?
It was good. Full stop. That is it. That's all. It was really good. It was really good fun. I really enjoyed it. To use the cliche that everyone's using, Goonies in space.
Yeah.
It was great seeing those kids. Neil is just the man. Or, that kind of came out around the same time as the Gavin and Stacey special. So I keep calling him Neil the baby at work. When we're like, someone's placed an order for a Neil the baby. So UK listeners, you'll get that. Anyone else, probably not so much. But lots of Neils have gone out of the door. It's been really popular. You could see that. It was just really good. My only like kind of wish for the show, and I don't know if it's sort of asking too much because I know they did do this kind of almost made it its own thing, is that somehow it may be tied in a little bit more to, what we call the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
Because most things kind of have that tie into that, that part of the universe, where they have some importance. And I really felt that Atin, as the planet that it was watching it, and I thought, it's a money planet, and it's going to tie in with the Last Jedi, where you had, when Finn and Rose have to go and get DJ.
Canto Bight.
Canto Bight, and he's there talking about, look at this, and brings up the hologram of a TIE fighter, and he's like, money, everyone's exchanging money, and they want plans for this, and then he goes, and it brings up an X-Wing, and he's like, looks like you're all kind of the same. And I felt like Atin was going to be quasi-imperial base that was funding the First Order. Which to explain how the First Order came about, and it could have been a great tie-in, because it's in that Mandalorian era, as we know. We had that. I don't forget his name. I'm terrible with names. The pirate was there, who was in Mando, and I was like, so this is that era. So is this the first? Is this the starts of the First Order getting money so that they can obviously buy these ships and buy this fleet? But it wasn't touched upon, and I felt like that was a trick missed. But I'm not a writer, so
and there has been talk that certain characters may appear in or be linked into the Mando Grogu film.
Yes, I've heard.
So Yeah. So, but no, I mean, as I said in the podcast special, I just really enjoyed the character arcs of the kids. They all had their own little character arcs and worked well as a sort of ensemble cast as well.
Yeah.
Jude Law was awesome.
He was, yeah, and you didn't know if he was good, bad, and different at any one time. It kept switching, and that genuinely kept me on my toes as well.
Yes, absolutely. It was nice, and again, we've had so much talk in the Disney era about Grey Jedi.
Yes,
that's another step in that sort of direction. He was a Jedi, came through Order 66. Apparently, there has been some reveals since the show finished of an actress that had filmed as a Jedi, and I'm presuming it was flashback sequence because she was Jodna Narwood's Jedi Master. So there was another sort of flashback to Order 66 type thing. I don't know whether I'd obviously not seeing what they did and how it was portrayed. You can't really make a judgment on it. I don't think the show suffered for not seeing that particularly.
No.
And maybe they felt that you've already done that in Mando, the flashbacks to Grogu being rescued from the temple and all that sort of thing. Then you had the same thing again in Obi-Wan, where you saw Raver and the younglings getting out and whatever, or not getting out, as the case may be.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, did they film it thinking it would give Jude Law's character a bit more gravity or a bit more character motivation, but then think it's becoming a bit of almost a trope of this era of harking back to Order 66 all the time.
Yeah.
So he mentions it, and Jude Law's a great actor.
Yeah, he certainly conveyed that when he was talking about the pain and the horror of it, and this is why he's such a quite a conflicted character. And I thought it was interesting because when he, let's say, quote unquote, turned bad, that lightsaber never went red.
No.
And we have just seen a lightsaber change from blue to red with the kyber crystal bleeding in the acolyte.
Yeah.
So there's something there that's not quite.
Yeah,
he's not bad.
Yeah, he's not intrinsically evil. He's just misguided and uses the powers for not necessarily the right motivation. Yeah.
Yeah. And the score. I know this is a music podcast after all, potentially. The score was beautiful. It flowed. It sort of harkened to it was a Star Wars score, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
It felt Star Wars, but again, it had that, and I think again harking back to this Goonies in space that everyone's saying. It had a fun playfulness in there as well, which sort of kind of was a reflection on the children and their personalities, and it was really good score.
Yeah. I think it was Mick Giacchino, wasn't it?
Giacchino,
did the music. So, yes, as you say, really, really good music, complemented the...
good pacing. It was really good Star Wars. And I feel like
really good stuff.
We needed something from Disney Plus that was a sort of a solid like that was.
Yeah.
Because I know Acolyte certainly split opinions, for sure. But I think this was pretty solid and pretty well received with majority of the Star Wars fans. So I think, I hope, touch wood.
Fingers crossed.
And I think we're going to see, I say this as I know I've DJ'd at some celebrations before in the past, but I feel like we're going to find out a little bit more about Skeleton Crew in Japan. There's I feel like we're going to get a season 2 announcement for that. And like you say, with the Mandalorian and Grogu, we're going to see, I think we're going to get a big trailer. We're going to see some footage from that or something. And and maybe this is where we'll see those tie-ins come in through Skeleton Crew as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting. I think there's going to be tons of news in April.
just a bit.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. No, just talking about jumping back to the music thing. One of the other things I think I mentioned in the Podcast Day special, one of the other things I did watch while I was ill on Disney Plus, brilliant documentary called Music by John Williams.
It's in my watch list.
Oh, it is amazing. I mean, take the fact that he's composed Star Wars music out of the equation, and just what the guy has achieved and done in his life. It's like before he even became a composer, he was part of like jobbing film score recording orchestras in Hollywood.
Wow. Okay.
And then they start like reeling over the posters of the films he played on the score of.
Oh, wow.
This is just like, he was just playing piano in the band that recorded, and they start flipping all these films over, and you're like, okay, and they're like big films of the sort of, I guess, late 50s, early 60s, through the 60s and early 70s, before we really started to branch out. And he explains how by being in these like jobbing musician roles, people were going, we've got to change this brass arrangement, and he'd go, okay, well, if you play this and you play this, and that's how he kind of got into scoring. But it's just like amazing.
He's got the ear for it.
Really, 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 really good. So
it's definitely on the. Mate, I'll have to check that out now. Make sure that I'm reporting in before the next podcast.
Definitely, it's very, very well worth a watch. As I say, just the fact that he's composed Star Wars music and gone on to influence the likes of
everything else,
the Mick Giacchinos, the Kevin Kiners, John Powell, all these composers that now cite him as being the reason they got into composing.
Yeah.
And like you find out about the guy's life and what's happened to him in his life, and you're just like, it's just a phenomenal story.
He's definitely one of those composers that people hear his music and they want to know who did this. Like, it's one of those sort of moments where I think that it was like that with for me. It was him and Danny Elfman, where I watched the Batman and it's like, who's doing this music? What's this music from? And I felt the same with Star Wars. It's like, wow, where is this? Who does this music?
Yeah.
Because you kind of can take film scores for granted sometimes, but with guys like that, it's just they make you pay attention with what they do, which is great. Job done.
Absolutely.
It's like our podcast. We make people pay attention.
Well, hopefully. Especially if you're listening to it while you're driving to work.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, don't crash. Watch out for that lady crossing the road there.
That's it. But also hitting screens in the last couple of days at the time of recording, and sort of news coming in as well, was the Andor Season 2 trailer.
Yeah, I watched it very quickly. Like I say, I've been really unwell. I haven't had the chance to really absorb it, so I'm gonna let you take the lead on the Andor trailer.
Yeah, so I mean, again, in a kind of, I think we're definitely seeing a shift. So the Season 2 trailer is soundtracked by a Steve Earle song, so like a contemporary, I think it's from about 2004, the original, track by Steve Earle, called The Revolution Starts Now. Obviously ties in with the theme of the show, and again we got similar in Skeleton Crew, that we've got a track called Coming Home because they were trying to get home. So that, you know, that seems to be a real shift away from the using the sort of symphonic type score. Or I know there was a thing in Hollywood a few years ago where all the trailers, and they even did it with some of the Star Wars ones, where the music in the trailer was like very sparse piano. So you've got like the Star Wars thing, go dun 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 dun. Yeah, and it's those sort of things. So it seems to be a marked, like, whether that's
shift.
Yeah, it seems to be a conscious move away from that. Whether that's to try and make it, you know, a bit more contemporary and appeal to not just Star Wars fans, sort of thing.
Do you feel like that modernizes Star Wars, or how do you feel about that when we find out that there's a song that's been written on planet Earth that's now featuring in Star Wars in a galaxy a long time ago, far, far away?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it particularly because, I mean, maybe if it's used in the show, it might take it out slightly more. And I know the Disney Visions, the Tatooine Rhapsody episode, that was a criticism of that, was the fact that it was contemporary sort of pop punk music, supposedly in the galaxy far, far away. But you kind of go, well, who's to say, just because Jabba's lounge band were, all smoking jazz cats.
Exactly. Do you just get? Is there any jazz in Star Wars?
That's it. It's like you've got that, but then who's to say that you haven't got kids forming little punk garage bands? So I think that sort of thing. Let's say contemporary music in a trailer, I don't have too much of an issue with. And even in the show, there may be elements of music that's used. I know, again, Acolyte, you had that Power of Two, which kind of did that thing where it was in the show and then morphed into the outro music of the episode.
Into that sort of song, yeah.
So it's, again, if they were to do that in Andor, there's a piece of music that's featured in an episode that then becomes part of the song that's used as the outro music. I don't have too much of an issue with that. One of the things that I didn't think was quite striking in the Andor trailer was how they seemed to be pushing a lot of the positive reviews from the first series.
Right.
So you've got the obviously quite quick cut edits of various scenes, but as the scenes sort of faded in or faded out, you got critically acclaimed, all this, and then like the 5-star review quotes that you would put on your poster, sort of thing.
Movie poster. It's good, honest.
This was brilliantly written, perfectly executed. All these sort of things to really sort of try and push Emmy-worthy performances or something, and it's like,
do you think that's to remind people that Star Wars is, and again, I didn't mind Acolyte before I say this. Acolyte was, in my opinion, all right, but is that to remind people that Star Wars is good?
Yeah,
and can be good television. I feel like
I think that's a deliberate. Like we're sticking our flag in the ground. This was really, really well received, although may not have got the subscriber numbers up by as many as they perhaps wanted, but the reviews and everybody is saying lovely things about Andor. So, you'd be a fool to miss this one, even if you don't like everything that all the other shows have done. It just seemed really, really a sort of marked shift. I don't think I've ever seen a Star Wars trailer that's had these poster quotes almost.
Sort of
right. Thrown at you. You know, I've seen it with other films.
Yeah.
And other TV series, you know, from the director of such and such, you know, and those sort of things of like, yeah, look, we're trying to tell you that this bloke did it. They're forever. Who's the guy that wrote Line of Duty? Jed Mercurio.
Right.
It's like anything he writes now, it's like from the writer of Line of Duty, because Line of Duty is really, really popular, and they know that if they go from the guy that did that, it's going to hook people in. Now, Tony Gilroy hasn't really got that name in the wider sort of zeitgeist. You know, he hasn't had a primetime TV hit.
Yeah, it's not a quote unquote household name yet. Is it?
No, but pulling those sort of quotes into the trailer really does, to me, smack that that's a trailer that they're expecting to be seen online, on mainstream TV, and it is trying to garner new audience, or you know, people that have gone, oh yeah, all I've heard about Star Wars on Disney Plus is that it's all rubbish and the fans hate it and all that sort of stuff. So
Andor was quite. It's almost still a bit of a sort of kind of like a sleeper series. I feel like you talk to people about it, and people are like, "Yeah, no, I didn't get around to it. You know, didn't watch it. I want to. I will at some point, maybe. You know, like I'm busy." And everyone goes, "Oh, I kind of hear it was good." And that seems to be a lot of people's response to Andor. It's like, "Oh, yeah, we want to watch it. Hear it's good. Ain't got time." They didn't park time aside, whereas actually like Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, people were actually invested in those from the get-go. I felt like people sat down and watched them as they were released, whereas Andor seems to have been a bit of a sleeper on that, although like very, very good, and let's say spin-off, a prequel, pre-spin-off of Rogue One.
Prequel,
whatever you would call it, of Rogue One, which is you know, like people, it's like a lot of people's favorite Star Wars movies at times now. Like it's a real fan favorite. So it's always a surprise that the show, although watched by many Star Wars people and they love it, there's still a lot of people that have gone, I'll get around to it.
Yeah. And talking about setting time aside to watch it, you have to set more time aside to watch this series.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be dropping 3 episodes a week. I presume all at the same time. I don't think it's like staggered.
I would assume so. They've just done that with the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon series.
Right.
And every Wednesday there was 3 episodes in there.
Okay, yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of ties in with what we're hearing about the show, that the second series is set obviously after series 1, but before Rogue One, and that's a period of years, and there are 4 distinct story blocks featuring different points in time across that gap. So it makes sense that the first story is 3 episodes. So you drop those, then you move on 12, 18 months. The next story is the next 3 episodes, and so on.
And then it all comes together at the end.
Yeah. But we're obviously getting K2, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Although, again, don't know how early in the blocks that's going to happen. And Dedra Miro and Cyril are back.
Yeah.
So, it looks, some of the visuals, Cassian flying a TIE fighter and stuff like that, look very, very good. And there's a brilliant shot in the trailer, which I hope isn't like the Rogue One trailer, where we got some brilliant shots that never made it into the film.
Oh, that didn't make it.
like the TIE fighter at the end of the little platform on Scarif. But there's a brilliant shot that's like almost like the camera is attached to the underside of the TIE I don't know if it's a TIE interceptor. It's definitely got like the pointy wings, but obviously you're seeing it as if like, imagine it's been shot on a real world helicopter and they've stuck the camera on the bottom of it, and so you've got like, you can just see like the edge of the wings and a bit of the like underside of the TIE fighter, and then you've got like the ground and the background.
I think that's a really cool view, and we've not seen anything like that before, have we? It's always been, I feel like, you know, the pilot in the TIE fighter or the X-wing, and you sat with them. With
we've had you've had a couple of bits of X-wings where you've perhaps had like, so like when you're in the Death Star trench and you've got like the shot from behind R2 when he gets shot in the head. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is nearly 50 years ago. So if you haven't seen that yet, what are you doing? And how do you even know what Star Wars is? But yeah, so you've had little things like that, but that alone is just a real like one of my takeaways from that whole trailer is just that shot is really, really cool. So yeah, really excited for Andor.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. That's our prediction, folks.
Awesome.
and Andor season 2 will be awesome. There you go. And something else that's awesome is comics.
Yes. Oh, I love comics. I really do. Yeah, just one of my things that I do like to do is kick back, listen to music, and read comics. So, yes, I have picked up Legacy of Vader, #1, and I will be continuing to get the rest of the story. It's the reign of Kylo Ren, and the story is taking place between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So it kind of starts with Kylo Ren is now the supreme leader, and he's going on a bit of a kind of a hunting mission and wants to follow in his grandfather's kind of footsteps. It's pretty awesome. And he ends up at Vader's castle, and we will see where it goes from there. But without giving away too many spoilers, it was really good, really fun. And I'm really excited to see this era of Star Wars explored in comic form.
Yeah.
I hadn't touched upon it too much. We've had a Poe Dameron series and a few other little bits, but actually seeing this kind of Kylo Ren and this taking place in between the two movies there will sort of give this an opportunity to really be expanded. It's this era that's, again, you know, we're talking about Star Wars fans. Some people love it, some don't, and this will hopefully fill out some of those gaps and some of those kind of reasons for him doing certain things that he does in Rise of Skywalker, and people are like, well, where's this shift change come from, and hopefully answer all of those questions. But so far, episode 1, issue 1 was really, really enjoyable. So definitely worth going and picking up, or waiting for it to come out in trade.
Yeah, available now from all good comic vendors near you.
Yeah, do support. If you have got a local comic shop, do make sure you're trying to support them. I mean, they're all independent little guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I mentioned the trade, and a lot of people do wait for the trades, but they've been around for years selling what we call quote unquote floppies. And if you can support them, please do.
Absolutely. So, we've spoken quite a bit about Star Wars music and John Williams themes and things like that. So,
nice, yeah.
I think it's about time we had to listen to another new artist.
Ooh. New year, new music.
Yeah, new music time, folks. So, back in October last year, many rebel spies brought us this information. No. Yeah, we heard of this this gentleman and this little ambient Star Wars, chill out Star Wars covers project. Guy's name is Mark Rolfe. He's based in Nottingham in the UK. And it's sort of, I can't actually remember how I heard about it. I think it was just one of those things that sort of flashed up on Facebook, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Let's have a bit of a look. And promptly bought the CD, which is available from Bandcamp. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it after we've heard from Mark and his version of Yoda's theme. So that was Mark Rolfe's version of Yoda's theme from his Ambient Star Wars Volume 1 album. If you head over to Bandcamp and look up Winnetka Records, which is WINNETKA Records, or go to Facebook and search for Chill Out Star Wars Covers. That's where you'll find Mark. And as I say, he released this via Bandcamp in October 2024, and he says it's the first of a trilogy of albums that he's planning of Star Wars music in this sort of ambient chill out style. And he also played a couple of the tracks from it during the charity meal that happened ahead of Echo Base Live last year in Redditch in the October, before also being part of the brilliantly named Max Repro band, who are
perfect.
I did think it was kind of chancing it a little bit, being around a lot of vintage collectors and calling yourself repro, because we all know how badly that goes down. But but no, Max Repro band. So they're a kind of Star Wars function band, and playing again interpretations, versions of music not only from Star Wars but other franchises as well. So, bits of Marvel, bits of Ghostbusters and things like that. So I look forward to seeing them. And in fact, if you are at Star Wars Fan Fun Day, or more accurately, the Dinner with the Stars the night before Star Wars Fan Fun Day on Saturday, May the 3rd, then you will get a chance to see the Max Repro Band, because they are the entertainment for this year's Dinner with the Stars. So
nice. Unfortunately, I'll be in Comic-Con Holland.
Comic-Con Holland, so, very nice.
Yes, probably with a Dutch garrison hanging around, so aka the party garrison.
Yeah, that could be very messy. That could be very messy. Yeah, I seem to remember we were positioned not a million miles away from the Dutch garrison at Celebration in London.
Oh,
a couple of years back.
You know they're about.
Yeah, you certainly do. You certainly do. But or some of the profits from Mark's album are going towards the Alder Hey Children's Hospital Trust, which is one of the charities supported by Echo Base.
Brilliant.
And the digital download. So those of you that are download fans, is just £6.
Wow, that's really good.
And there is a CD as well, for those of you that prefer sort of shiny things, and that's just £8. And you obviously, as with all things on Bandcamp, if you buy the CD, you get the digital tracks straight away anyway. And as we record, he's already been teasing the first track from the second collection, which, if I remember correctly, is a version of Ray's theme,
nice.
which is very nice. So we've reached out to Mark and spoken to him, and he's very keen to come on the show and talk to us and tell us all about the project and his plans for it and everything else. So he'll be appearing on a future show. We'll probably do an artist special with him, so dedicate a whole bonus track to talking to Mark and playing the music from hopefully a couple of the albums by then. So stay tuned for that, and we look forward to hearing more from Mark as the project moves forward. So
nice, yeah, absolutely,
yeah. And as I say, he played at Echo Live in October, and the next instalment of Echo Live is just around the corner on the 29th of March, again at the Kingfisher Shopping Centre in Redditch. It's always a great event. There's plenty of the guys from the Fantha team are there, pottering about, selling things quite often, buying too many things, more than selling things. Yeah, so do check that one out if you're around and looking for that Star Wars fix. And as we say as well, Star Wars Fan Fun Day is happening on Sunday, May the 4th, up at Blackburn Rovers Football Club. And you'll find both those events on Facebook, and both of them do the star dinners the night before. So the signing guests that are appearing at the show, everybody gets together, and there is a sort of meal in a function room, either at a hotel in the case of Echo Live, or at the football club in the case of Fan Fun Day. And it's really a good chance to let your hair down the night before the show. You get to chat to the actors. Usually you get like an actor on each table, so you will get a full evening to chat with whoever is positioned on your table. And they're really, really good events. They're both obviously as well charity fundraising events, so they raise a lot of good money for very good causes. So do support them if you can.
Yeah, I really want to get to one of those events. They always sound like a blast, and
yeah,
I'm always working at the weekends that they're on. It always feels like there is a comic convention on somewhere else that I'm booked for.
It's almost like they could do with booking a DJ.
some sort of DJ slash host that would work.
That would work. That would work.
Yeah.
So,
up, guys, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. If you'd like to speak to Leroy's agent, I'm available.
Please contact Carl.
Yeah.
Through the website, and
there we go.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. And also coming up, and this is literally at the time of recording, hot off the presses. There are going to be 20th anniversary cinema screenings of Revenge of the Sith. So
Nice.
around April the 25th, or from April the 25th, again, this has literally just been announced. So the details of which cinema chains and where and everything else are a bit of a mystery at the moment. But yeah, just a couple of months away, literally a couple of months away at the time of recording. Revenge of the Sith back in the cinemas.
I mean, that's probably one of the Star Wars films that I seem to put on the most. If I'm just going to put on a Star Wars, I tend, like, Empire is one of my favourites. I know we were talking about Rogue One earlier and how good it is.
Yeah.
But I do find, for some reason, I always put on Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. I don't know whether it says something about us that we've got a penchant for the dark side, or but yeah, it's
got it all, hasn't it? I feel like
there's bits of George Lucas rubbish dialogue notwithstanding. Again, those are just little things. They're not. The overall story and presentation, it's great.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one that I'm going to be looking to make time.
Yeah, the fall of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. It'd be great to see that back on the big screen again. And as with all of these anniversary reissues, there is a stunning poster been released from the same artist that's done the other anniversary ones, a guy called Matt Ferguson. And this is a really, really, really good poster, pulling in bits of the volcano lava, and then the centre of the poster is like Vader's helmet, like overshadowing Anakin walking up the steps of the Jedi Temple. So it's just really, really nicely drawn and executed. So another winner for me.
I'm just looking at it now on the website. It's, very nice.
It is really, really cool.
Nice.
Yes. And as we're talking about celebrating the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
Celebrations. There's an event called Celebration as well, isn't there?
There is, yes. Is it local?
It is if you're in Japan.
Yeah.
Well, it is if you're in Tokyo.
Yes, just on the outside of Tokyo, I think. About an hour or so outside of Tokyo. So, it's looks like it's going to be good.
It seems to have sold very, very well. The reports are, I think, that it's all but sold out now.
Yes, that's all I keep seeing from Celebration. They're on their Instagram. It's Sunday adult tickets sold out. Friday adult tickets sold out. We've got Oscar Isaac, we've got Hayden Christensen, we've got Rosario is going to be there. Like Ahmed Best is going to be there. Like this is it's going to be awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, Vanessa Marshall's going to be there.
Friend of the Fanfras.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good guests. You got Manny Jacinto as well. And even if you can't go to Celebration, like some of us, then check out the early images that they've released of the badge art. So
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, if you've been to a Celebration before, or if you haven't been to a Celebration before, basically the various badges, passes that get you into the convention and are your ticket into panels and things like that, depending on whether you've managed to get into the lotteries for some of the bigger panels and things like that. You get like a backstage plastic lanyard, and those, depending on which badge you've got, have different images on them. So, you will have a badge if you've got a weekend pass.
Yeah, you can have.
You will have one image on it. If you've got child's Saturday only pass, it will be a different image, and so on and so on. And there's people who actually try and collect all the passes. And one of the things certainly they did in London, you could order a pack of all of the badges to be delivered after the event.
Yeah.
Except for you can't get the Jedi Master VIP one.
Right.
That's the only one they don't put in the set that you can order, because the Jedi Master VIP people have paid a hell of a lot of money to be exclusive, so they don't want to sort of share any of the goodies.
Every now and again they pop up on eBay if you want to drop and it seriously is a few £100 for one of these passes because they are so rare. Yeah, I think last in the Europe I had the Grief cargo car for the production team, so that was quite cool.
Cool, very nice.
And I can't remember what Chicago was.
I can't remember what mine were for, because I
felt like it was Chewy, but I can't remember.
I ended up with, I actually had to buy 3 single-day passes because when they all went on sale, the weekend passes went like within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying the 3 single days. Was it 3 days or was it 4 days?
It was 4 days in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I bought like a pass for each day.
So this one is a day shorter in Japan, isn't it? It's just going to be 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's looking to be a great show.
Yeah. Yeah. So stay tuned to Fantha Tracks for all of the news coming out of Celebration in Japan. We have people on the ground there.
There will be some fanfares there, I'm sure.
There will be. Try and if you see them out there, fairly easy to spot. Mug them and get them to give you free things, which I'm sure they'll have.
Stickers, patches, goodies.
All the usual stuff. All the usual.
You've got to trade your patch, though.
Yeah, usually. So if you're out there and you're swag swapping, then try and find some of the Fantha Tracks team. I don't know if we've got a booth or a table in any of the areas, or they'll just be roaming. Don't know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the plan is for them.
We will try and find that out before the next episode and let you know how you can ensnare members of the Fantha Tracks team.
Definitely.
Probably the easiest way to ensnare members of the Fantha Tracks team is like take donuts with you.
Donuts, chocolate, sweets.
Yeah. Donuts, chocolate. Yeah. That usually works. So
super rare vintage figures, if you know.
Yeah, no. Donuts and sweets works all the time. But there we go. And so another new artist.
Oh, new sounds, new music.
New sounds, new year. This one actually came to us from a member of the Fantha Tracks team. So a big thank you to Matt Booker of Automatic Comics down in Corsham in Bristol. Talking earlier, as we were, of our comic store friend.
Go and support.
Go and support him. He sent this one to me and said, have you heard of these guys? And I was like, off on a little investigate off to Bandcamp. And I went, no, but they're very good.
But I know about them now.
I do know about them now. And so it's a band from the US called the Threepios.
Ooh.
And they're 3-piece, and they're sort of mixing it up a little bit. So they've got a collection of parody covers. So if you like your Darth Elvis and Blues Harvest type parody and those sort of things. They've got some reworkings of covers that they've put into Star Wars themes, but then they've also got some of their own original songs about Star Wars as well. So more along the lines of a Royish Good Looks. So check them out on both Bandcamp and Facebook, the Threepios, with the 3 spelt out as you would normally spell out 3PO in the word form, not the letter 3 and
THREE.
PIOS, yes. So check them out. And we're going to have a double header from them. Don't say we don't bring it. We're gonna go with one of the parodies, which is from the album The Age of Etiquette, which is called Utini.
Hey.
And then we're gonna go with the second track, Padme, which is from their original songs album called The Age of Protocol. So here they are, the Threepios.
What's with these Jawas hawking their toys, crawling across the sands, mysterious with their glowing eyes, savage when they scavenge. If you need some droids, they'll bring them to you. That's just what they do. Utini for those who can speak Jawai's. Oh my, I'm surprised for those who can't. Little dudes, they are cool, cruel scavengers. I'm okay with that. On the backwater world Tatooine, they supply tech and guns. If there's a bright spot in this galaxy, here's where it's farthest from. But you need some droids. They brought them to you. That's just what they do. Utini for those who can speak Jawai's. Oh my, I'm surprised for those who can't. Little dudes, they are cool, cruel scavengers. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Alright, keep on this down. Little red droid is down on the ground. Oh no, what do we do? What about that other one in blue? Beats and words you want to know. What he said as 3PO. What's the matter, what's the matter, what's the matter, Luke? Don't you want to meet R2-D2 and That's just what they do. Utini for those who can speak Jawai's. Oh my, I'm surprised for those who can't. Little dudes, they are cool, cruel scavengers. I'm okay with that. Utini, Utini. I'm okay with that. Utini, Utini. I'm okay with that. Utini, Utini. I'm okay with that.
Hi, this is actor and creature performer Details, and you're listening to Desert Planet Discs.
Attention, Queen Amidala. Where you lead, I wanna follow. To know you is just a pleasure. You are a galactic treasure. Padme. If you hadn't been together, you'd have been treated much better. You're his one and only tether. Now we're in for stormy weather. Padme. From the Queen of Naboo to Senator of the Rim. lost and wanna wallow. These feelings all feel so hollow. Who and where we cannot follow. So we walk the straight and narrow. And it can set every young man, and we can still just see you, misled by the lies of the dark side, dark side. Now a lost cause, all freedom gone to thunderous applause, an illusion that melts away.
So that was the Threepios with Utini and Padme from the Age of Etiquette and the Age of Protocol. And again, as we have with Mark earlier, we've spoken to the band. They've got some very exciting plans. I know from their Facebook page, they're actually out performing. They're out gigging this year. So, I say, get over to Bandcamp and check out the music. Get on Facebook and follow them and give them likes and everything else. And if they are playing locally to you, then get out and support them. Go down and say hi and just have a generally good fun Star Warsy music night out. And we'll be getting the guys from the band on the show as well. Already, despite having only released those albums towards the back end of last year as well, they've got plans for more releases this year. So hopefully we'll be able to get them on to talk about those and maybe play some exclusives in the run-up to the launch. So again, stay tuned. It's going to be exciting, even without all these things here, celebration and all that nonsense. We're just going to have wall-to-wall music guests and craziness.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year, and lots to look forward to. Still, obviously, a lot of it is still speculation. But what would you like to see this year? Because this would normally have been something we'd have done over the Christmas / New Year episode. So, what would you like to see from Star Wars this year? As he says, putting him on the spot.
I literally put my hands together as if I was praying.
Oh God, why did you ask me this and not give me any warning? It's not even in the show notes.
We have a celebration this year.
Yeah.
So I would like to see, personally, some kind of new animation come out. Visions was amazing. I feel like just because we're in Tokyo, we're going to get Visions 3 announced with all the anime and the manga. So it'd be great to see some of those new ideas again, because they were really fun. I really enjoyed those takes on it. But I would like to see an animation come out that is, and as horribly dated as they are now, is like we had Droids or the Ewoks cartoon. I would like to see something like that come out along those kind of lines. So harkening back to that quote unquote Skywalker original trilogy. And something around there it's a little bit more fun. Like Rebels, Bad Batch, they're all amazing shows and very serious, and you can follow them through season to season to season to season. Whereas kind of back in the day with show my age here, the 80s cartoons that we had, they were just fun. They were just just literally an episode, one and done. They would go on a crazy adventure.
Yeah.
Something like that would be done. And I kind of would like to see some Star Wars like that come out to fill in that middle gap, really. Because I feel like, can't remember the name of the show, but there's a very young Star Wars show now where they've got all the young
Jedi adventures.
Young Jedi. And you've got all the younglings and things like that. You've got Clone Wars, you've got Bad Batch, you've kind of got, you can go down that Rebels route. There isn't that kind of, I'm, like 10 years old, good, fun Star Wars cartoons, like Droids used to be. And I know if you go back and watch them now, they are... they haven't aged well. I know that. But something like that would be really cool, I think.
I mean, they kind of went down that route a little bit with Resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was bordering on or by the time it got to the end, it was bordering on the creation of the First Order and a little bit more serious. And I get where you're coming from. As you say, it for me, Clone Wars and Bad Batch, I always think of as they're part of the Skywalker saga.
They're an extension
story.
Aren't they?
And the only reason they were done in animation is because that was cheaper than doing them as live action.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Whereas Droids and Ewoks was about filling a gap in the entertainment market to hook in the kids.
Yeah, I mean, that was what hooked me. I had the Ewoks lunchbox, with Wicket on there and things like that, and I love that. So I'd like to see something in that vein, just to bring in, I think we keep talking about is people say Star Wars dying out and things like that, and are we bringing in new viewers the right way? And it's a really difficult balance because Star Wars has to try and appeal to the sort of older generation of fans to keep them happy, to give them that Star Wars fix. But how do you bring in new people? So I would like to see something like that from Star Wars. But for grown-up me, I would, I don't know, some kind of show or something that's based around... I would like to see how the First Order was created, or get some of these, after reading that Legacy of Vader, something that shows me Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren going off and doing some stuff as well. That would be really cool. But that's what about you?
Yeah, I'm a lot more simplistic. I'm just like, give me movies. Yeah. More than a single thing of I know the Rogue Squadron. Is it happening? Isn't it happening? Lando series, is it happening? Isn't it happening? All those sort of things.
That would be amazing to get that Lando series.
The Lando series would be very cool.
I think that would be really good.
Yeah, especially. I mean, I get that you've got to get it written correctly in order for it to work. But the ideas that were kicking around, you and I may have chatted about them at various points, but. The idea that you could have Billy D sitting on the Falcon or wherever and going, that kind of reminds me of that time we did, and it's a bit like the sort of Young Indie Chronicles then of it's almost because we know he in Solo he was doing that thing where he was recording his memoirs, as it were.
Yeah.
So I think to spin the show like that of him either recording more of that and then you get to see what he's, That reminds me of that time back on Old Man Trail.
Oh, I would love to see
Yeah,
that show, actually.
and
That would be good.
that-
Let me just pour a glass of Colt 45,
yeah.
tell you about this story.
yeah. And, you know, so, but it's like the crux with all of these things is the writing.
Yeah.
And it's like we said at the time about Solo, Rogue One. Yes, so Solo was kind of the film that nobody wanted, but it was actually a good, fun Star Wars story.
We talk about this all the time when I'm at In Demand, how good Solo was.
Yeah, but
it just came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, the secret behind it being a good story is it was written by two good writers.
Yeah,
Lawrence Kasdan and his son. There is no secret to getting a good story. It's employing a good writer. And where my thoughts on this, we've shared hundreds of times, but where I think some of the Disney era stuff has fallen down is they've tried to get a writer, director, all in one package.
Yeah.
A Rian Johnson. You know, it works for the Glass Onion stuff, which I absolutely love. No, Knives Out, isn't it? Knives Out.
Knives Out. Glass.
Yeah.
Glass.
Yeah. Knives Out is kind of the franchise they're now doing it under, and Glass Onion was the second film. Yeah.
So do you think these directors need to come in, and if you're going to do a Star Wars film, it then needs to go through levels of approval, which I know they kind of must do to be greenlit and stuff. But you know, does Star Wars need gatekeepers to go, whoa, stop, this is too out there. You can't do that. That's too out there. It doesn't fit within the realms of this, you know.
That's a good question, because there's always talk whenever you get like these new projects coming along that, oh yeah, you know, we talk to the story group and all that sort of thing, and they go, oh no, you can't step on the toes of this project, or no, that's not how the Force works.
It's midichlorians.
Yeah. You know, so I get that there's possibly an element of that happening, but equally, historically, there was always a sort of backstop of somebody controlling what the story was, because it was George.
Yeah.
And rightly or wrongly, whatever he said was what was permissible in the Star Wars universe. So it's kind of...
obviously, we sort of have that with Dave...
with Dave Filoni, yeah.
Dave Filoni. But yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because how much creative skills, and how much do you take away from someone to make sure?
Yeah. But as I say, I think great directors don't necessarily make great writers, and great writers don't necessarily make great directors.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some that can combine the two and do it well, but I think what we seem to have seen.
Is that a trope Star Wars doesn't need anymore then? Because it's always been written and directed by.
Yeah, well, I certainly the sequel era, that's the way they went. I mean, yeah, Star Wars, you know, New Hope, I guess, was kind of George, but then thereafter he brought other directors in.
No, yes, of course, yeah.
So it's kind of, you know, the story idea was his, and he wrote it, and he was executive producing or whatever other titles he wanted to give himself within there. But the director was literally responsible for capturing the ideas and the performances and translating those ideas and those storyboards into what you've got on screen.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, as I say, I think ultimately what I want to see, and what I want to see every year from Star Wars, is it move in a positive direction. I was only thinking this weekend, I was out and about doing the weekly shop, sort of in a few toy shops and things, because I've got young relatives who have birthdays coming up and stuff. And the dearth of Star Wars at the moment. It used to be every shop you went in, there was something Star Wars in there. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Even, albeit a smaller branch of Entertainer, had literally got 4 or 5 pegs with figures on, and that was about it.
Yeah, it's definitely given, unless you're in a specialist, like a grown-up toy shop, Star Wars is definitely given hardly any peg space anymore.
No.
Yeah, so I think there's an issue with, like I was saying earlier, younger people coming through.
Yeah, it's the perception. Firstly, it's the perception of the brand. We see time and time again that the stuff that has been developed and sold as toys, collectibles, whatever else, is appearing at discount level in some instances before people have really had much chance to even get hold of them through the full price channels. I know there's many retailers, certainly in the UK, that are saying, stuff that was supposed to be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive and hasn't sold is now, cropping up on discount lists.
Yeah.
Direct from wholesalers and things like that, because your big box toy stores don't want Star Wars. It takes up shelf space and it doesn't sell. So, yeah, that's my wish for 2025, is that enough good stuff happens that it restores confidence in the brand.
Yeah.
And we all live happily. And we all
of the announcements that we get out of Star Wars Celebration Japan, it's just going to cure all of this. I can tell.
That's it. At the end of the day, those are stepping stones towards that goal.
Yeah.
You make good stuff, people will want to buy stuff. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. That's your Star Wars marketing solution.
Listen up, Disney.
yeah. Make good stuff and people will want to buy merch.
Yeah. 100%.
There you go. Simple. They should put us in charge.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So, it's about time to wrap up, really.
Well, it was just like, riding a bike. It was straight back in there, talking nonsense.
Talking nonsense, putting the world to rights.
Yeah.
Brilliant fun.
We fixed Star Wars, if anyone feels there was an issue. If you don't feel there was an issue, that's fine. We didn't fix anything. But
yeah. But, good fun. And we'll do it all again soon. But in the meantime, we will play you out with a version of the music that accompanied the recently dropped Andor trailer. As we mentioned earlier, it's a track by Steve Earle called The Revolution Starts Now. But this is a cover version from YouTube by Ann Wilson of Heart, taken from a tour that she did in 2022 with her band, who have actually now gone on to be the backing band of Heart. So Nancy's back in the band and all lovely. And I had tickets to see them last year and then they cancelled. Because Anne wasn't very well. So hopefully she's on the mend. And they reschedule some dates for this year in the UK. Pretty please. Because I haven't seen them since about 1990. So it was all in black and white and sepia in those days. They were playing steam-powered guitars. They hadn't even got electric. But there we go. So, so we'll play you out with that. And until next time, folks, we'll be seeing you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back.
listen to a beat that I'd never felt before. So I opened up my eyes and I took a look around. I saw it written across the sky. The revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now. The revolution starts now. When you rise above your fear and tear the walls around you down, the revolution starts here. Where you work and where you play, and where you lay your money down. What you do and what you say, the revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now. Yeah, yeah, the revolution starts now in your own backyard, your own hometown. What you doing standing around? Just follow your heart. The revolution starts now. Oh! Last night I had a dream that the world had turned around. All our hopes had come to be, and all the people gathered round. They all brought what they could bring, and nobody went without. And they learned a song to sing. The revolution starts now. Yeah. Hey, the revolution starts now in your own backyard, your own hometown. What you do is standing around, just follow your heart. The revolution starts now. The revolution starts now in your own backyard, in your own hometown. What you do is standing around, just follow your heart. The revolution starts now. Ah, yeah. Ooh. Oh, Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Fantha Tracks Radio and this episode of Desert Planet Discs. For all your Star Wars news, reviews and everything else, head over to fanthatracks.com, or why not like, follow or subscribe to our social media pages, which can be found by searching Fantha Tracks on your favourite channels. Get in touch with us by emailing radio@fanthatracks.com and putting Desert Planet Discs in the subject line. It helps the pit droid sort out where it needs to be sent. Of course, we'd be honoured if you subscribe to the podcast channel and leave us a review, preferably a 5-star one, via Apple Music, Amazon, Audible, SoundCloud, Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribing is the best way to make sure you never miss an episode of Desert Planet Discs, Making Tracks, Planet Layer, Start Your Engines, Collecting Tracks, Fantha from Down Under and Cannon Fodder. Weekly Making Tracks shows drop every Tuesday at 7 PM UK time, and other shows drop on a rotation every Friday at the same time, 7 PM. If you'd like to see what we look like, then don't miss Good Morning Tatooine on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch every Sunday at 9 PM UK time, 4 PM Eastern and 1 PM Pacific. Huge thanks to James Semple for the Fantha Fair intro, and Mark Daniels and Vanessa Marshall for our voiceovers. And remember, Fantatrax Radio and TV is totally free. No subscriptions, Patreon and the like, so what's stopping you?
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Come back soon. I'll be waiting.